Welcome to YouTube channel. Now the class for BCom Computer Applications first year semester 1. Subject is Fundamentals of Information Technology. Today's topic is Black Diagram of Computer and Elements of Computer by G. Srinivas Reddy, lecturer in Computers, Government Degree College, Siddipet, Autonomous in Telangana State. The topic about the black diagram of computer. The previous class discussed about the computer characteristics and limitations, etc. Now the description about the description or structure of the computer can be explained with help of the black diagram of computer. The diagram which is given below, especially it contains three units: CPU, input and output devices, and again the CPU contains various other units, that is control unit, arithmetic logic unit, main memory and auxiliary storage. Here the CPU, central processing unit, contains three units: control unit, arithmetic logic unit and memory unit. The memory unit contains two types, that is main memory and auxiliary storage. Here the main memory is nothing but a primary memory, but it is the fastest access memory, but it contains comparatively auxiliary storage, it having less storage capacity, but auxiliary storage having maximum storage capacity. All these components can be explained briefly here. About the diagram, black diagram of computer. Mainly computer system consists of three parts, that are central processing unit, input devices, output devices. The structure having input devices, output devices and CPU. And again the CPU is nothing but a central processing unit. This is the central part of the computer. It is also known as heart of the computer or brain of the computer. The CPU is an electronic hardware device which can perform different types of operations such as arithmetic and logical operations. So it is divided into three parts again, that is arithmetic logic unit, control unit and memory unit. CPU having mainly three parts: arithmetic logic unit, control unit, memory unit. We will discuss one by one. Control unit. The control unit controls all the activities or operations which are performed inside the computer system. It receives instructions or information directly from the main memory of the computer. When the control unit receives an instruction set or information, it converts the instruction set to control signals. Then these signals are sent to the central process for further processing. The central unit understands which operation to execute accurately and in which order. Generally, users are giving instructions through input devices. Those can be transferred to the central processing unit through main memory. With help of the instructions given by the user through main memory, the central processing unit processes such instructions to display output devices or to process or to comparison. Whatever the process can be done by the processor, that is part of the central processing unit. But the instructions are taken from the input devices through users. Only based on the instructions only the computer can process. But such process can be done by taking instructions from input devices and processing, then providing output. This is the all these can be controlled by the control unit. It is a part of the CPU. Simply we have to say overall functions, overall controls, overall activities of the computer can be controlled by the control unit. This is the job of the control unit. Then the next component of the CPU is arithmetic and logic unit. With help of the computer, we are performing arithmetical operations and logical operations. Here the arithmetical operations means addition, subtractions, multiplications, division, etc. And the logical operations, comparison between the text, comparison between the values, etc. Combination of these we can call as arithmetic and logical operations. Such operations can be done by the computer with help of the arithmetic and logic unit. Once again, I want to read this. Arithmetic and logic unit is the combinational digital electronic circuit that can perform arithmetic operations on integer binary numbers. It presents the arithmetic and logical operations. The output of ALU will change asynchronously in response to the input. The basic arithmetic and bitwise logic operations are supported by ALU. Generally, the computer accepts data in the form of digital information only. Such conversion can be with help of the softwares, but such binary data can be processed with help of the ALU, that is based on the input data, and produces the results in the form of output as per the desire, as per the instructions of the user, which is given through input devices. This is about the arithmetic and logic unit. But to perform such operations, the computer needs some memory. To process the job, to process instructions, to process programs, some memory is needed. And after the completion of process jobs, it must be stored in the computer. That purpose also the memory is essential. So here the computer having important component, that is memory unit. Generally it is called as storage unit. The information or set of guidelines are stored in the storage unit of the computer system. The storage unit provides the space to store the data or instructions of processed data. The information or data is saved or held in computer memory or storage device. The storage device is the core function and fundamental of the computer components. The central processing unit or computer must have all these three important components: the processing, storing, whatever with help of the memory unit only. That is also called as storage unit. But the memory can be divided into different parts. Such classification can be described below. Here discussing about the classification of computer memory. Primarily, the memory is divided into two parts: primary memory and secondary memory. Here discussing about the primary memory. It is again two parts: ROM, RAM. ROM generally ROM, RAM is nothing but RAM. ROM means it is again three types: PROM, EPROM, EEPROM. Here ROM means read only memories. RAM means random access memory. In other words, it is also called as read and write memory. And again it is the RAM having two parts, two types: SRAM and DRAM. SRAM means static random access memory, dynamic random access memory. The secondary storage part: hard disks, floppy disks, DVDs, CDs and pen drive. All these are secondary storage devices. Here the brief discussion about the computer memory. Especially the computer memory is two basic types, that is primary memory and secondary memory. The primary memory is the RAM and ROM. Here RAM is nothing but random access memory or read and write memory, is a primary volatile memory, and read only memory ROM is a primary non-volatile memory. Here volatile memory means The memory which loses its content when power off or switch off the computer is known as volatile memory. Non-volatile memory, the memory which doesn't lose its content when power off or switch off the computer, is known as non-volatile memory. Generally, when we are typing or we are doing some job with the computer, the data can be saved in the RAM only, primary RAM. మనం సేవ్ చేయనప్పుడు ఆ డేటా లాస్ అయ్యే అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. సేవ్ చేస్తే సెకండరీ మెమరీలో ఉంటుంది. సేవ్ చేయనంతసేపు అది ప్రైమరీ ర్యామ్లో ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి సేవ్ చేయనప్పుడు అది లాస్ అవుతుంది. సో అలా ఉండేటువంటి మెమరీని వాలటైల్ మెమరీ అంటారు. సింప్లీ ద డెఫినేషన్ ఈస్ వెన్ స్విచ్ ఆఫ్ ఆర్ పవర్ ఆఫ్ ద కంప్యూటర్ ద మెమరీ లాసెస్ ఇట్స్ కాంటెంట్ ఈజ్ కాల్డ్ వాలటైల్. ROM chips are there. In that, content can be stored by the computer manufacturers. When switch off the computer, power of the computer, the data cannot be lost in its memory chips. So such memories are called ROM chips. Here volatile, non-volatile, both classification can be distinguished in primary memory part only. ROM is the non-volatile because when switch off the computer, power of the computer, its content doesn't last. Here read and write memory or random access memory is there, that is volatile memory because its content can be lost when switch off or power of the computer. This is the difference between volatile and non-volatile, that is RAM and ROM. Then there are two kinds of volatile RAM, that is dynamic and static. Even though both types need continuous electrical current to retain data. Suppose the computer when be available to process, it needs some power. Sometimes we should give with battery backup. So if the memory needs to be worked, it needs power, that is the dynamic and static both RAMs. Then dynamic RAM is a very popular due to its cost effectiveness. DRAM stores each bit of information in different capacitor within the integrated circuit. DRAM chips need just one single capacitor and one transistor to store each bit of information. This makes it space efficient and expensive. This is about the dynamic RAM. That means it contains the capacitor within the integrated circuit, and DRAM chips need to just one single capacitor and one transistor to store each bit of information. Whereas static RAM, it is much faster than dynamic RAM. Its disadvantage is high price. Dynamic RAM is the low price, static RAM is the high price, and SRAM doesn't need continuous electrical refreshes. Dynamic RAM needs continuous electrical refreshes, but static RAM no need. But it shall requires constant current to sustain the difference in voltage. So it needs constant current in difference in voltage. Every single bit in static RAM chip needs a cell of 6 transistors, whereas dynamic RAM requires one capacitor. So here static RAM price is high, but it needs 6 transistors, whereas dynamic RAM needs only one capacitor and one transistor. As a result, SRAM is unable to accomplish the storage capabilities of the DRAM family. SRAM is commonly known as CPU cache and for process registers and in network devices. Generally, SRAM, static RAM, is nothing but CPU cache. Here cache memory is nothing but a fastest memory. Cache memory is the fastest memory. For that purpose, nothing but CPU registers purpose, SRAM can be used. This is about the RAM, volatile RAM primarily, and static RAM and dynamic RAM. Then the next one is the read-only memory. It stores crucial information essential to operate the system, like the program essential to boot the computer. It is non-volatile always retains its data used in embedded systems or where the program needs no change, used in calculators and peripheral devices. ROM is further classified into three types, that is PROM, EPROM and EEPROM. Generally, ROM is nothing but is embedded chips that is on motherboard circuit. Those can be programmed by the computer manufacturers. But those ROM chips can be divided into three types, that is PROM, EPROM and EEPROM. I'll discuss about these three. That is PROM, programmable read-only memories. PROM means programmable read-only memories. It can be programmed by user. Once programmed, the data and instructions in it cannot be changed. That is about the PROM. PROM means programmable read-only memories. In these programs, once written, you are unable to modify, unable to erase, unable to rewrite. If any mistakes can be occurred, you have to remove that chip, and again you have to take new chip, and again you have to write programs on it. That means no modification, no erase is possible in PROM. So due to this disadvantage, the next two chips are introduced, that is EEPROM, erasable programmable read-only memories. It can be reprogrammed by erasing data with help of ultraviolet light. Here that means in these programs you can erase by applying ultraviolet light, and you can rewrite programs on it. That is the advantage. But here also one disadvantage is there, that is if you want to erase a small bit, you have to erase entire chip. That is a disadvantage. Here erasable possibility is there, but you can't erase a small bit. Instead, you can erase entire chip, and again you have to write the programs on it. That is about the EEPROM, erasable programs read-only memories. The next one is EEPROM, electrically erasable program read-only memories. The data can be erased by applying electrical pulses on these chips. Here you can erase a small bit or entire chip. The mechanism is by applying electrical pulses. Such memories are called electrically erasable programmable read-only memories. This is about the ROM and its classification. The differences between RAM and ROM. RAM is the random access memory, redundant memory. It is a temporary storage, whereas ROM is the permanent storage. Here RAM is the store data in MBs, whereas ROM store data in GBs. Here RAM is the volatile memory, ROM is the non-volatile memory. Here RAM is the used in normal operations, whereas ROM used for startup process of computer. When you start the computer can be loaded the necessary files from ROM. So that process is called booting process. So the programs which are available for the booting process in ROM chips only. Here RAM is the writing data is faster, whereas ROM writing data is slower, but ROM chips can be written by the computer manufacturers. These are the primary differences between RAM and ROM. Then come to secondary memory. Secondary memory is also frequently known as auxiliary memory. Here auxiliary memory means it contains the high storage capacity. The control unit can't directly communicate with the secondary memory. It is a non-volatile memory, but it is also considered as a non-volatile because once it is saved, the data cannot be lost by switch off the computer, power of the computer, but you can erase by opening it. That is the. But for the RAM chips, the user cannot erase. Instead, some special mechanism is needed. But here, simple delete, simple backspace, simple delete operations, you can erase data in this secondary memory. But the processor cannot be directly communicate the secondary memory. Instead, it can be communicate with help of the primary memory only. Here the difference is, primary memory RAM is there. The RAM is the high accessing speed but very less storage capacity, but price is very high. But secondary storage price is very low but high storage capacity but low processing speed. Moreover, it must be communicated with the primary memory only. Here you see the best example for secondary memory is the hard disk. The hard disk has enormous storage capacity compared to main memory. That means it having more large storage capacity. The hard disk is usually contained inside the case of a computer. The CPU box is there. The hard disk can be fit in its component, in its compartment. The hard disk is used for long-term storage of programs and data. Data and programs on the hard disk are organized into files. A file is a collection of data on the disk that has a name. Here, hard disk contains the data in the form of files. Here, file is nothing but a data having some name which is stored on the disk. Disk మీద స్టోర్ అయినటువంటి డాటా, దానికి ఒక నేమ్ ఉంటుంది. అటువంటి వాటిని ఫైల్స్ అంటారు. మెకానిజంలో ఫైల్స్ అన్ని హార్డ్ డిస్క్లో అరేంజ్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. దిస్ ఇస్ అబౌట్ ద హార్డ్ డిస్క్. దిస్ ఇస్ అబౌట్ ద సెకండరీ మెమొరీ. దెన్ కమ్ టు ఏ హార్డ్ డిస్క్ మైట్ హ్యావ్ ఏ స్టోరేజ్ కెపాసిటీ ఆఫ్ 500 GB. Then this is about the 100 times the capacity of main memory. A hard disk is low compared to main memory of the computer system would slow down to a crawl. The reason for having two types of storage in these differences in speed and capacity. Large books of data are copied from disk into main memory. The operation is slow but lots of data is copied. Then the processor can quickly read with small sections of the data in main memory. When it is done, a large block of data is written to disk. Generally, the processor can be read data from the main memory, secondary memory through main memory. The data can be processed by the main memory, which is accessed from the secondary memory. So once the job is completed, and again the necessary results will be stored at the secondary storage. This is about the accessing between secondary main memory and processor. Often while the processor of computing with one block of data in main memory, the next block of data from disk is ready into another section of main memory and made ready for processor. One of the jobs of an operating system is to main storage and disks this way. So the secondary memory contains the data in the form of different blocks. If one block is loaded into main memory to process job, and the second block is ready when first block job is to be completed. In this manner, the operating system can be managed memory management technique. This is the part of the job of the operating system. It can be discussed in the next part, that is software part. But here discussing our classification of the CPU registers, our processing and storage capacity classification. We'll see here the access time increases. CPU's registers access time is very slow, very low. That means high processing speed. Then cache memory, compare with the CPU registers, slow, but cache memory is also very high accessing speed. Then next come to main memory, then next come to secondary memory. This is the hierarchical accessing. That means access time increases. That means CPU registers are very fast, cache memory is compare with the CPU registers slow, but main memory fast. Compare secondary memory, main memory is fast, and secondary memory is the last one. But storage cost per bit increases. Secondary memory cost is very low. Main memory cost is less than secondary memory, higher than secondary memory. Cache memory is very high cost. CPU registers are more high cost. But this is about the access time and cost per unit. Then primary memory versus secondary memory, we'll see one by one. Here some of the points are given. Discussing about the primary memory, it is the main memory where the data and information are stored temporarily. It refers to the external memory where data is stored permanently. Primary means main memory, data stored temporarily. Secondary memory is the external memory, it data stored permanently. Here data is directly accessed by the processing unit. Here data can be accessed directly by the processor in secondary memory. Through main memory only it can be accessed. It is volatile memory, meaning data cannot be retained in case of power failure. It is non-volatile memory, so data can be retained even after power failure. ఇక్కడ పవర్ ఫెయిల్యూర్ అవుతే డేటా లాస్ అయ్యే అవకాశం ఉంటుంది మెయిన్ మెమరీలో. సెకండరీ మెమరీలో దెర్ ఇస్ నో ఛాన్స్, ఇట్ కెన్ బి రిటైన్డ్. Memory is stored in semiconductor chips which are relatively expensive. Memory is stored external storage devices such as hard disks, flash drives, etc. Here the semiconductor chips, here the hard disks and flash drives. It can be in the primary memory part, it can be categorized into cache memory and random access memory. Here they are permanent storage devices such as CDs, DVDs, hard disks, web disk, etc. It is relatively faster than secondary memory because of its volatile memory. They are usually slower than primary memory. It's like backup memory. It holds data or information that is currently being used by the processing unit. It stores a substantial amount of data and stored information ranging from gigabytes to terabytes. It is the very little amount of data can be ready for processing unit. It is for the substantial amount of data can be stored in secondary storage. These are the black diagram of computer and elements of computer. This is today class. Thank you everybody.